Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 316. We are back to Magical Worlds, Johanna Basford's new coloring book. We are indeed using the Brutfuner 520. I have picked a wild array of colors because there are so many colors. I did go pretty deep in my combos that I'm going to do. And a couple of the combos will be somewhat of a color shift. And then I am also going to do a gold filigree border. So we're going to start with the blues because we're going to do the sky. It's a night sky. It's a bit of a Prussian blue tone to the sky blue. So let's get the colors. These pencils are the flower box pencils. The core is a 3.3 millimeter lead. I did verify that. And they're the same size core as the colorful 2-drawer Brutfuner 520, the student grade pencils, and probably the same as the Colors. So these are all numbered 1 through 520. They are in a color family order that when you get them, the odds are in one box, the evens are in the other box because it's two big boxes. You can even buy the flower boxes as individuals, so that means you can replace as you go, at least in a somewhat smaller increment, which is kind of laughable because it's 260 per flower box. Which is why, because there are so many, I went ahead and went pretty deep into the very darks. There's beautiful darks. You know, I love my shadows. And they have a tinted, toned dark for all of the color families, which is fantastic. So we have these little numbers are hidden. You have to expose them. At some point, somebody revealed this in a video. And so I have taken a white chalk marker from the Dollar Tree and exposed these numbers. They're actually somewhat legible to me, but just to be on the safe side, I went ahead and used silver Sharpie. At some point, my silver Sharpie started to die, and I switched to a second silver Sharpie, and then I used black Sharpie on the light colored barrels. So there's also some funky codes for their own coding arrangement over here on the right. I have not found out exactly what that's all about. So you'll find the numbers listed twice when you see my barrels when I show them. Light to dark, and then they have great names. Norse Blue 222, Azure Blue 223, Salute 291, and Daphne 289. So I want to get to coloring. I'm going to do, normally I would have the area right behind the main object and the other elements be dark. But I am going to go ahead and do light around these open stars and then light behind the hummingbird, dark behind the filigree and the flowers. So we'll see if I can stick to that now that I have shared that with you guys. We are going to be, I'm cheating a little bit today. I had a completely unplanned day that I will get to share with you. Not unplanned in the big picture of life, because I expected these types of events to happen, but unplanned in that, you know, today with what I was going to do, none of it happened. And I am very fortunate with being that I don't have to deal with a day job, that I can help out others pretty readily with my schedule, which is really nice. And it's actually why I wanted to have my mom move here, so that I could help out, as she is having her medical issues, and just life in general is throwing challenges her way. And as she and her husband get older, it's just nice to have some support close by at the ready. You know, they lived out in the country. And so They did have her sister somewhat close by, but her sister has two boys, and now she's got grandkids, and she babysits the grandkids, so she's not as readily available. I don't even know if the relationship that between my mom and it's her youngest sister, who is, I think, quite a few years, I think 11 years younger. And so her sister is more like my sister because we were raised together. I am only 7 years younger than her. So there's the relationship between those two is not, the traditional sister relationship. So I am starting with the lightest color, and then I'm going to come in with the darker colors. I might even, these little stars here and the little dots, I might have them be lighter as well. We'll just see what I end up with. Not even sure how long coloring this is going to take. These are a very fast coloring pencil. Color goes down very nicely. They fill the tooth very quickly, so we will see how far I get today. I do not know. It's a large enough image. I don't think I can do it in 2 sittings. I'm coloring on this image 2 days this week, so it is possible. I'm trying to think. I finished one complete. I always try to finish at least one project. I did quite a few whips. I finished the 2 birds. This is like the week of the birds. I did the owl last week and 2 birds. And now the hummingbird. It's actually making me start to look at line art, reference photos, like free reference photos. I've been looking at the reference photos for ideas for coloring, like the hummingbirds. They come in so many colors, you guys. It's crazy, the vibrant colors that they come in. I'm going to one darker now. This is the 223 Azure Blue. So I'm starting to think that I want to do my own line art and maybe do a bird drawing of some sort. I do have a whip that's of a bridle. It's a tutorial. I did the part of the tutorial that was included, and now what's left is to kind of extend it and finish it up enough that it can be a standalone completed work. So I may make myself finish that off before transitioning to a bird drawing. So my goal again is to keep some lighter and darker areas. I want to go lighter out to the edges. These have all sharpened fantastic. I pre-sharpened what I was going to use for today. It is dark. I am sitting in the recliner. I don't have anything really huge and intimidating to color like I did in the camping scene that I did the last couple of days with that big tent. So I am comfortable sitting down here in my normal spot. I had a very active, busy day, so I am glad for the opportunity to sit and chill. Yeah, to me, these are just a nice, easy, they're made in the factory with the color. This is all hearsay. It's what I've heard. And they do feel very much like the colors. which I just did the full color barrel. The reason why I checked the core on these is I was curious. They look to me to be the same size core as the full color barrel. I also own the same size, a 180. They have the same numbers, exact same swatch, in fact, with the black core, or black barrel, dipped ends, only they are a 3.8 millimeter core. And I enjoy the fat core, but I also enjoy these. For some reason, the smaller core are really nice for doing smaller images. So I want my Hummingbird to stay light, and I'm going to be going darker along the edges. I want the gold filigree to really pop when I color it. I am starting to see some of the darker colors and the lighter colors, and then around the flowers I want to go dark. So the excitement that happened, I'm starting to relax, let's just say, since my mom has settled into her home. We still have things we're helping with the move-in. So we have boxes arriving, and they're heavy, so we help move them into the house. And then my mom's husband and her, they've put together their own furniture, which is great. I like putting together furniture, but I really don't have that kind of time right now. And so they have done their own furniture, and that's great. We just helped move a big dresser that was being a console for the TV. The TV's really big and it's heavy, so we've been helping out with that. But this morning I was going to get up early to go work out. However, I have noticed when the weather gets cold, it was in the low 40s this morning, I just do not feel like getting up. I like to stay in bed and stay warm. If I am going to go out in the world, I have a bike. I have to bundle up. I know I can take the truck if I want to stay warm, so that's always available to me. I have to, if I'm going to a new area, but I think I'm gonna do it in quadrants. I'll stay up here. Oops, I just went to the wrong direction. This is the darker. Barrel colors aren't the perfect. Nope, Daphne. They're very, look how close they are. This is what I grabbed. I can't really tell. Salute is the darker. I guess it's a little bit darker. 289 Daphne is what I'm going to do next. So I know that I can get dressed to go work out. The pool has been closed for the next few days. You know, if it's going to be a high of 66, I think that was the high today. That is not warm enough for the pool. Nobody's going to swim in the pool that cold. So at 7 a.m., I woke up and knew that I was not going to go work out today. And I thought I'm going to have kind of a leisurely day because the weekend is going to be pretty jam-packed. With Saturday, I will be crafting for the first time in a long time with my card making friend Libby. So we have a lot of catching up to do. Sunday, I have a friend here who is starting to play a computer game, an online one, that I used to play extensively, and I want to help her. She has done a lot of the intro stuff and is ready now for a little more help. So we're kind of targeting Sunday. It won't take the whole day. I've got my weekly review I want to do and get set up for next week's coloring activities. So I'll be getting that done. So at 9:30, I tried to call my mom. She has my husband's phone. Her phone has, they tried to switch to Verizon on Tuesday, I think it was. And the SIM cards, they had just switched to T-Mobile, and it was a very bad experience. So my mom got fed up and made the call to switch. They told her she needed a SIM card. The SIM card was rejected. Something happened. And so the UPS, they're not the best. I don't know if you guys have experienced them before, but I don't know, they left her a piece of paper with no check. There's all these little check boxes about why they couldn't leave the package. So she signs it on the back and hangs it on the door. And 3 days later, no SIM cards. So she then calls the Verizon people, and they try really hard to make it work without new SIM cards. But the way T-Mobile's SIM card process works, they were unable to get the product switched, and it is determined she really still absolutely has to go get those SIM cards. She's not from here, and so she had heard somebody in the pool talking about Merritt Island. Going over the bridges to Merritt Island was really challenging, and traffic, it's really tight. And so my mom had this vision of going to Merritt Island as being really intimidating. So she was just waiting. She finally called UPS and told them she needed the SIM cards. But the SIM cards weren't going to be delivered till today at 7 o'clock. So I came over and was working. Well, I came over because she never answered my text about the status of things. So I just said, you know what? Let's just go and get this dealt with. I would really love to have you actually have a consistent working phone. I mean, she's waiting for doctor's phone calls and trying to coordinate things here. So I will take you, and then you'll see that, this whole Merritt Island thing is just no problem at all. I think she has a doctor that she needs to go visit there, and so it was going to be a good thing to just take her there and let her see it. So off we went. I actually pre-made an appointment in the morning for like 1 o'clock. I explained that her experience in general with cell phone carriers was dismal, and that she absolutely needed to get set up, and that I was going there with her to take her, and we were staying there until her phone was working. So I made sure, because there is a place here in Titusville that has Verizon on the building, but it is not a Verizon corporate store. It is simply a cell phone reseller dedicated to Verizon. And why they have it show up in the listings as a Verizon store, I don't know, because it really is not. And in order to get SIM cards from them, you have to pay. Not only that, they don't have the skill set to be able to troubleshoot issues, and already the customer service people online were unable to get these phones switched over. So I really wanted to take her to Merritt Island, so I made the appointment and off we went. And it was really easy to get there. It's like a straight shot over the bridge. It's on the left. I mean, there's like, it's just not complicated at all. So what she had been told was definitely not how getting there really is. So she was pleased, so she could see how easy it was. We were there for a very long time. The person who helped us, there were a lot of people in line, but we had an appointment, and so I noticed that they helped us very quickly. I apologized to the guy right up front that our experience had been very poor. He was very quiet. He focused on, getting everything switched over. He had to even he called their customer support and had tried a couple of sims. I mean, it was very complicated. And I'm really glad we went. And we walked out of there with my mom having working phones. We did a couple of test calls. Everything went well. She was very relieved, very grateful. I did tease her and said, because she didn't really tell me many days ago the whole deal of not wanting to go to Merritt Island. So I found that all out today. And that is why I am now coloring in the dark. These pencils are lovely. I have to remember that the bird is supposed to be light. I hope we are staying focused. The right side. So let's talk a little bit about the book. This is a big book. It has the spine here on the left. So when I clamp it down as much as I can, I still have this gap, and I try to angle my phone to be tilted just a little bit so that it has the angle. It does mean when I push down, when I am going to color on this side, I almost want to take my right hand and hold it down. Or I noticed when I film, it blurs a little bit as I push this down, and then it moves around. So the focal distance changes enough to make the image near the spine not be as clear. It's just always a challenge. Yesterday, sitting up tall doing the camping, I had the issue of the right side not being focused because of the height difference, and the left was clearly focused. So yep, I just have to keep shifting and adjusting. So did I shift to the darkest color yet? Nope. I'm going to now get in with the Salute 291. So that was the excitement of my day. I've been so busy that, like Hub, when we got home, we actually picked up lunch/dinner. So everybody got to eat. And Hub wanted to know, so the way our garbage system works is we have garbage service to our door every day, where there's this little, it's a truck pulling 3 green containers. They're open-ended, and there's a person in the back that reaches down, picks up your garbage, and tosses it into one of these 3, we call it the garbage train, trash train. However, in the first week of us living here, because we actually cook food fresh every day, the buzzards got into our trash and had the trash spread out within an hour of us leaving it out. So that was the end of us leaving our garbage out. So we take it, whenever we have it full, we take it directly to our, we have a trash compactor available. So Hub says, hey, I'm taking the garbage. Would you like to come? And I said, sure. And he was so surprised that I was coming along because I have been so busy since my mom arrived that having a leisurely ride to the garbage has not been something I've done. So we went together and we went for a ride. He maintains the trail, so he took us in a loop and we went over. I'm really loving how this sky is going. And he showed me where he was working. His relaxing thing is working on the trail, where my relaxing thing is coloring. Okay, so now I want to make sure, I'm going to rotate, I want to come across as much as I can over by this flower and not be having my knuckle making the focus change. So that is the challenge. I might even pull it this way a little bit so that it stays centered and focused. It was beautiful. It was really cold. I actually am wearing, I wasn't wearing long pants. I wore capri pants. Workout leggings. My first jacket day of the year. I guess last night I had to put a full jacket. And we actually have our winter clothes now that we decided to keep, a very small selection of them. So it was fun wearing one of my own winter coats that I had had in storage for 8 years. Let's go this way. This is the lightest color. So with the lightest color, I'm going to go in between these lovely curling tail feathers. Let's get back to the middle here. Trying to think what I want to work on. Sometimes I will not pick out all of the colors, but I do have colors picked out and just need to decide what element I want to work on the next after. I'm going to save the filigree to last, I think. So it's either going to be the hummingbird or the flowers. I think I'm more ready to do the flowers next. Yeah, these are so fast. Lovely, lovely. They are smooth. They are quiet. They are very easy to hold. I like the easy to read words. They're not metallic. They are white letters, right? White letters? Nope, silver, but easy to read, so they are metallic. But the font is perfect. Which is great. After we finish this in the book, which again might be into, so next week is a special week. It is Thanksgiving week. We're kind of entering the holiday seasons for me, and there's just a lot of different holiday things, card making that needs to happen. So I'm going to be looking at my coloring schedule and probably making sure that I stick to my 45 minutes, and not go the extra time, because I need to stay focused on my holiday type activities, which I've already not done a very good job. Like normally I would have mailed Thanksgiving cards out. Didn't mail Thanksgiving cards out. I might mail a few. I have a few made, so I can send some to my core people. People just might have to wait to get Christmas, and maybe I'll do Christmas and New Year's cards. Tomorrow when I'm working with Libby, we will contemplate. And the reason why I say that is Libby is coming in December. So that would be fun with her stay to be able to make some. It'll be right in advance enough that I can make some special Christmas cards and work on New Year's cards, which I do not readily do New Year's cards. So that'll be a fun, different thing to do. And I think I'm going to have her help me. Now that I have all of my crafting supplies, I might recruit her to help me with some storage reorganization ideas. So that will be very exciting. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? I've actually done a little work down here at this other end. So now I have the book really snugged up. I can't really flip it the other way. So it's up on my belly. This is the joy of big books. And I'm okay if with these tendrils getting so close to the edge. I would like the edge of the circle to be the dark. So I'm even going to have it be dark toward these tendrils at the bottom. Tail feathers, I guess. Tendrily tail feathers. Let's move in a little. Okay, how are we doing for time? Good? Doing good. I'm moving to Daphne, second darkest color. So I was looking at, as I said, images of hummingbirds. And there's so many cool ones. So I had Hub. he didn't have to participate in choosing these pages, and I don't really ask him about pencil sets. Although one time I asked him, hey, help me pick out a pencil set. And he said, hey, do you have any that have white barrels? I said, yes, I do. I actually have the Erogeton. And so one of the times that I used Erogeton was because he said, use a pencil with a white barrel. He has seen my black barrel pencils and the color barrel pencils. So I had him look at the images. I picked a subset of images. They were, I believe, photography that was, and I'm just using them for color. So even if they were some sort of a stock photo that you have to pay royalty for, I'm just using generic colors. That's a certain breed of hummingbird. So he picked the one, and he did not pick a traditional. He does that on purpose. So he did not pick, which is your typical brightly colored. It is brightly colored, but not the typical ones that I've seen in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm pretty excited to share that with you guys. Though I think I'm playing with flowers this week. And then we were working on feathers next. That's right. We are coloring feathers. One whole page is going to be next week. And it will use 13 pencil sets. I will reveal the specific 13. I'm going to get all set up so that we can do multiple sets. I believe I'm going to make, with all of the sets that are left, I should be able to have them all use similar colors. They won't be identical because there are some smaller sets and then some bigger sets. That's coming along nicely. The far right side is not going to be as easy for me to reach without flipping it completely the other way. I'd like to do a little blending. I'm going to pick this middle tone, Azure Blue 223. Soften some of these darker edges. I did also manage to do I had picked some remaining color conversion colors that are the Starjoy Gold to Prismacolor. And I made a final decision and did some tweaking to my list so that it is once again finalized. And I am going to probably film it maybe Sunday. I could technically try to do it tomorrow after. Just depends how tired I am in the afternoon when we are done. Okay, so now I'm going to come back down with our last chunk of time, and I want to get a little closer with this brighter color, closer to our hummingbird. Trying to still leave the spots and the stars quite light. To make sure that we stay focused. And I think, like I said, we're going to work on the flower next. Let's see if I can rotate, since it's a circle. So I will also tell you that you're going to see it right side up, because I will flip it, but I've been coloring upside down this whole time. It doesn't seem to bother me too much. I always wonder, is it going to be weird? It might be weird if I have to do the bird upside down. This is Daphne, which is the middle tone, second darkest. And then I need to soften this line a bit. We're at 41 minutes. This is the lightest color. Okay, I'm rotating. Since I want to do the flower next, I do want to get some of the darks by the flower done. This is the darkest color. Salute is what it is called. I have done small ovals this whole time. I've kept the, where it's dark has, it's kind of a very open ombre look, not a really heavy solid line look. There is some tooth showing. It might be that before I do the flower, I may or may not get the rest of the circle colored. I only have like that much, so if I show you the flower, and if I'm going to play with that flower next time, I might like to just go around and do the dark blue. I won't be doing it right now on camera, but it will look just like this side over here. And I will probably do that tonight in bed before I tackle the flower. tomorrow. All right, so we are done with our time. Do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. I hope you are enjoying this hummingbird and playing with the sky with me. It's a nice night sky. And I hope to see you all tomorrow, where we will be working on the flowers. See you then.